What's up, everybody? This is Adam from Everyday Retro Gaming, and we're going to talk about Transformers on the PlayStation 2 today and how awesome it is and why you should play it. So the story starts off with Optimus Prime and Megatron fighting on some like city landscape or whatever, and it looks like Megatron's going to win. And then a distress signal comes down, it interrupts the battle between Optimus Prime and Megatron. It's the Minicons, and they're saying, hey, help us, we're trapped on this planet. And all of a sudden, Megatron just stops winning. I feel like he should have just won the fight and then gone to Earth. But anyway, they both go to Earth and they start fighting for the Minicons. It's a good story, it fits Transformers pretty well, but it still bothers me that Megatron just didn't win. He should have just won the fight and been like, we're done. We don't need the Minicons. But whatever, we're on Earth, we're looking for Minicons. I think the cutscenes still look great for 2024, and they have plenty of them to kind of help flesh out the story as you progress, and you kind of look forward to each one, because they're cool. They're really, really cool. You got three main characters to choose from. You got Optimus Prime, you got Hot Shot, and then Red Alert. Each one has kind of their own playing style. Optimus Prime is more of the big semi-truck, right? So he's slower, he's beefier, and then you got Hot Shot, which is the fast little yellow car. Super speedy, he's weak, but if you need to get around the map real fast, he's the one to pick. But if you want a good balance between speed and strength, pick Red Alert, and you can't really go wrong with him. So you pick your Transformer, get dropped into the stage, and each stage it's open world. As you progress through each stage, they'll kind of guide you on where to go. One thing I noticed while playing Transformers is that it helped influence future games, maybe like games like Destiny. You run around, you'll kill a group of bad guys, more will come in, they'll summon more bad guys, there's patrols. The world feels lived in. So it's really cool to see these newer games pull from older generations. So each zone has fast travel locations, and I use fast travel as like a loose term because there's a lot of load times. When you use a fast travel portal, you teleport back to your home base, and then you go and pick where you want to go, and you have to memorize it. There's no overworld map, which is another problem, and then you load and go back down to the planet. So overall, it's nice to have the fast travel, but it might be just faster to run from one location to the other. So as you're exploring each stage, you're wanting to collect these Minicons. So each Minicon has these certain power-ups, and they can completely change how you play your character. So there's different types of Minicons. You got offense, you got defense, and you got some unique ones that you'll need to kind of reach other locations. But I love having a strong defense. So I grab Deflector first, and that one can block any energy beams. And then once you get to a certain stage, you can pick up Kickback, and that one can block physical and energy weapons. And it's just, it's so good and so overpowered, the fact that you can just block anything. It's amazing. That is the one I would say you're probably gonna want equipped at all times. There's some really cool offensive ones. I'm not much of a sniper, but there is a really good sniper rifle that you can almost one-shot anything, and it gives you a nice little reticle when you're targeting their head, so you know you're gonna get a headshot or hitting their weak point. It's pretty overpowered. There's a weapon called Aftershock. It's an incredibly good blaster. It'll be your primary weapon. And once you get Aftershock, you probably never want to give it up. It's fantastic. There's two unique ones. There's one called Slipstream, and that gives you the ability to glide from one location to the other, which you'll need to use to reach some locations to grab a couple Minicons. And then there's one called High Jump, and that's given. You can just high jump. It's super nice to have when you need it. To keep you from getting completely overpowered in this game, they limit how many Minicons you can have equipped by having 10 slots, and each Minicon that you have requires, I think, 1 to 4 slots. So you can equip like 2 really powerful Minicons and then 2 really weak ones, or a bunch of mid-grade Minicons. Whatever you want, you can build it out, but you can't become so overpowered that you're just gonna stomp the game. The game is not difficult by any means, but it would make the game a lot easier if you could equip all the most powerful Minicons. So each Minicon is assigned a certain color, and I believe there's red, green, and yellow, and there might be another color, but the more Minicons of the same color you have equipped, the more powerful you become. There's like certain power-ups that you get, like you get an extra shield or more energy, more health or something like that. It's pretty cool, so there's a nice bonus if you really like using some of the same Minicons of the same color variation. I tend to just not really care that much, and I equip the more powerful Minicons that I like to use. So there's a really cool playstyle for everyone. So not only is there Minicons to collect, there are Datacons to collect, and Datacons are more of a fun thing to collect, things that keep you playing the game. So they give you like access to the art gallery, and then there's like even like commercials and stuff. So there's some history back there you can unlock. Nothing important really, but just more reasons to run around the world and explore. So there's an ability called Paralink that when you combine with your Minicon, it's like bullet time from the Matrix, but it drains your energon. I tend not to use it very much. I think it does too much damage, so I tend to steer clear of it. I'd rather run around, shoot stuff, block with my shields, that kind of thing. I think if you like it, you can use it, but if you don't, just completely ignore it and just run around and blow stuff up. When you play a Transformers game, the main thing you want to do is transform, right? The transforming in this game is fantastic. It's fluid, it's immediate. You can be jumping, shooting, doing whatever, and if you hit your triangle button to transform, you're gonna do it. And what's awesome about transforming is that you can just run over most of the bad guys, like the weaker ones, and just one-shot them. So if you see a patrol, you just go into car mode as Optimus Prime and just steamroll them. So you definitely got some over-the-top boss battles in this Transformers game. You got Starscream, Megatron, of course, Cyclonus, and then you got one that's almost kind of reminds me of a Shadow of a Colossus, that is Tidal Wave. He's massive, and you're running around on these little islands. It feels really cool. It's awesome. I love how over the top the boss battles are. I feel the controls are really well thought out. So how they have it set up is L1 is your jump button. So what this lets you do is keep both of your thumbs on the joysticks as you jump and run around and look at stuff. People that play games really set up the controls, and it really feels good playing that game. I feel like the graphics are insane for a PlayStation 2 title. One of the first stages you load up is the Amazon in Brazil, and there's just trees everywhere. The draw distance is insane. There's enemies flying around everywhere. It's incredible what they got out of the PlayStation 2. So there's plenty of diverse zones as well. You know, you start off in the lush green forests of the Amazon, you move to the Arctic, you got your snow stage. Then of course you go back to the Amazon, but it's more of like twilight and things aren't so green. You got this giant secret volcano base that's Megatron's lair, and you're running around. Then you got a couple interior stages you're exploring. But overall, I think there's a really good variety of stages that keeps you engaged. So even though the graphics are incredible, there is some frame rate issues. It's not enough to ruin the gameplay, but it is enough to notice. So you're not gonna get the traditional voice actors of Megatron and Optimus Prime, but if you love the voice actors for Beast Wars, you'll definitely love the voice actors for this Transformers game.
Autobots, we must stop Megatron. Roll out!
So within the first 4 hours of playing this game, I was able to get to Megatron and beat him. And I think, you know, I've played this game before, but I feel like if you're playing the game for the first time, it's probably going to take you about 8 hours to get to Megatron. But to really complete and do everything in this game, it's probably going to take you maybe about 15 hours, I would say. Exploring isn't too tedious, and it's actually pretty fun finding all the mini-cons and data cons. So I really liked the game when I bought it back in 2004, and I still like the game today, 20 years later. It's a great game that's really well thought out, and it doesn't hold your hand. It lets you explore the world they laid out for you with a level of freedom that most games don't have anymore. I highly recommend giving this game a playthrough if you have it in your collection. If you don't, it currently sells for about 20 bucks. But even at that price, I feel like it gives you a really high level of entertainment value. It's easily beatable in a few gaming sessions, so if you're really looking for that dopamine hit for completing the game, Transformers is it. I did have a viewer on stream called Tiberius, and they recommend playing the game. They give it a 20 out of 10. So if you don't trust me, trust Tiberius and play this game. Thank you for everyone that made it through this review of Transformers. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see more content like this. Stay safe, stay retro, and I hope you'll find the games you're looking for. Paralinks is really good. I like it a lot.
It says here that's bad, that's drain the energy.
Oh, yeah, it sucks.
How could it be good?
Okay, there's a ability called Paralinks. It's really bad. What was it, Paralink? What was that mode called?
Powerlink.
Powerlink? Power? Parallax Link slows down gameplay because every time you hit square, it circles around you and you're like, fuck, I don't give a shit. I want to just shoot stuff.